good feeling. This place is jumping off hard as it can get. No, we won't ever stop dancing on the edge. We like it dangerous, we like to see you split. Turn up another notch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let me tell you something, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, let me tell you something. Right now, 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 right now. Got a real good feeling, got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling, I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling, I won't hit no ceiling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling, I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. Right now, 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 right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling, got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling, I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling, got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling, I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
What is going on, everybody? Long time no see, but I am back because Jeb had a planning meeting today. We had kind of forgotten about it last week, so we should have mentioned it last week when I said it was my last show doing that for a while. He had that meeting on the second Wednesday of every month, so I should have known. That is my bad. But we are about to have some fun. I've already seen in the comments someone said Tim should host again. Well, guess what? Your dreams have come true because I am here. We do have a special guest, but before we go there, I am joined by the infamous, amazing, beloved producer, Smayatang. Smay, say hi to the people.
Hi, everybody. I love you.
Yeah, okay. The host for today, the co-host, I'm very honored. I'm very privileged to be in his presence. He came, not really sure where he came from, but my co-host for today is none other than Bitcoin himself.
Hello, I'm Bitcoin.
Do you have anything you want to say to the people, Bitcoin, before I jump on with the show?
Yeah, I hate Litecoin. Litecoin is a dirty imposter. I hate Litecoin. It's stinky, and I don't like it.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, guys, if that excites you to have Bitcoin on the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Jeb will be back with us tomorrow, so don't feel like, I know someone said this is their first time taking the show. I am not Jeb. Please don't mistake me for Jeb. He will be back tomorrow, but we do have a fun show because, as the title suggests, we're going to be talking about what's happening in El Salvador with Bitcoin and how that will potentially affect the rest of South America. We're also going to discuss what's happening with the IRS. I don't know if any of you guys saw that article, but the IRS is coming out with budgets to make sure they stay on top of crypto. We also are going to talk a little bit about Polka Dot. Some of you guys have been asking about Polka Dot for a while, and some of you guys have been asking for Smay to be able to lead a segment. Well, guess what? We merged the two together. Smay is going to be leading that segment, talking about the newest stuff in Polka Dot and why he is super excited about that project. I think, Smay, is that not your favorite project?
It is my favorite project.
Oh, okay. Good to know. So we're going to talk there, and we're going to finish out with potentially a little bit of information. We're not going to go into deep detail about the Wyckoff stuff, but we are going to discuss it really briefly because I know people have been asking questions. I've been doing my research, and we're going to kind of touch on that for a brief second so you guys kind of understand what is happening there. However, if there is nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and start our stream. We're going to talk a little bit about the El Salvador news, and there's no point in doing any articles Again, that's kind of just facts. It happened. If you guys want to look it up, it happened. But the bill finally passed. We've known about this since, what is this, last weekend or so?
Something like
The
that.
news came out that the president of El Salvador was saying, hey, we want to actually make this legal tender. Well, yesterday that became official. The bill was passed. El Salvador is going to be using Bitcoin as legal tender. Now, what's interesting about this is that not only is El Salvador doing this, but we're actually seeing a bunch of South American countries observing it as well. So the question in the title, is Paraguay next? Paraguay has come out and said a lot about maybe following in the footsteps of El Salvador, which is really big because as our research team pointed out, Paraguay has actually a lot of access to renewable energy. So if they became really big on Bitcoin, adopted it as currency, and got really heavily involved in the mining game, that answers the qualm of what people have been wondering about when it comes to the environmental impact of mining Bitcoin. Not only is Paraguay considering it, but we also see Brazil, Argentina, and many other South American countries. I believe even I saw something that Mexico is considering it. One of their senators came out recently as very, very heavily pro-Bitcoin. So really exciting things happening in South and Central America. If you guys are from there, hit me up, give me a one in chat. If you have family there, I'm excited about what's happening there. But even more speculation, there's a lot of speculation that potentially Africa countries are going to be getting involved as well. We already know what's happening with Cardano over in Africa. Maybe Bitcoin plays its role over there as well. And we finally see this reversal of the downtrend that we've been waiting for. But we will touch on that a little bit more. Let me know in chat what your guys' thoughts are about South America. Smay, what do you think?
I will just say, I mean, how refreshing would it be that our economic revolution starts in a place like South America and Africa instead of flipping the tables where it happens in Europe and North America? It's like, no, it's our turn, guys. It's our turn. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What do you think about it, Bitcoin? What are your thoughts about being used over there more frequently?
I like being used. As long as I'm being used, I'm happy, especially if it's people from Africa or South America. They're very cool.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, you heard it here first. Bitcoin loves it. Ultimately, though, guys, I'm super excited because as we're going to touch on a little bit later, we're going to look at a little bit of technical analysis a little bit later, and especially talking with that Wyckoff information, what this is doing necessarily to the market and how it's maybe disrupting that Wyckoff distribution. However, if there's no other questions in chat, I do want to go ahead and move on. Just so you guys know, this is really big. Let me know if there's any questions in the future in this stream. We will go back and touch this a little bit more. But other than that, I want to make sure you guys knew and then touched on it briefly before we move on. So the next thing we want to discuss is the heavy regulation that potentially could be entering Bitcoin through the IRS. So again, I'm not going to go to the article because ultimately I want to save you guys time. This is probably going to be a shorter stream today, but I want to talk through the information you guys want to know about. So the IRS recently proposed a bill, or a budget, for 2022 that would include a $32 million increase for the sake of monitoring cryptocurrency. Now, the majority of this would be used to hire contractors to help regulate crypto and taxation. Ultimately, I think what their fear is that people are going to be using crypto to kind of circumvent taxes. However, this is, I think, I'm going to say a very positive sign because what we are seeing happen is mass adoption of Bitcoin. We've even seen it with Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, where these banking systems, these investing firms who are saying, we don't like Bitcoin, we don't like it. However, we're going to continue to add it because we have so many customers who are pretty much demanding it from us. So despite the fact that we don't like it, we are going to continue to use it. And that's what's getting the IRS so up in flames, is they're like, man, how are we going to stay on top of this? How many people potentially could cheat their way out of taxes? And what's interesting is even, we knew this was coming, but even the SEC wants to get their hands involved because there is this feeling, I think, from centralized systems, which the IRS and the SEC work alongside, that, oh my goodness, this crypto thing, which used to just kind of be annoying, is getting a little out of hand and the control is starting to sway away from us. I don't see this as negative. I actually see this as a positive, as a reaffirmation to everyone who's investing in crypto. This is just another reason why what you're doing is good. I mean, there's a lot of people right now in this time in Bitcoin, if you're looking at the charts, there's a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. Did I get in too early? Am I wrong? Is Bitcoin going to zero? Things like this actually serve as a confirmation that we did not make a mistake, that crypto is an unstoppable train, that it is a threat to the current levels of centralized power. And while right now we might be down, we are about to get back up and we're about to move forward. So let me know in chat, what are you guys' thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the SEC, on the IRS? Another thing I was going to say, like, as far as the SEC getting involved, I was talking with my research team this morning, and they were like, oh, if regulation comes in, and it actually is a form of decentralization, it could help decentralize, or sorry, my bad. If it happens, it could centralize Bitcoin. So there's fears there. But the good news is the SEC only has control inside the United States. That's not really a new piece of information to anybody. But it's good to remember, the SEC, if they install regulations, there's only so many regulations you can really install to affect Bitcoin. As of right now, the majority of mining happens outside the U.S. So those regulations, I'm not really sure what exactly they could do to change anything. However, what is good, and before I actually go to chat, because I do want to offer another thought, is, I totally forgot about this, sorry, planning meeting, gotta get my notes right. There is someone within the SEC, and I actually think we can go to my screen on this one, so if you want to go to my computer, Smay. Stricter crypto laws will stifle innovation, says the SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. So, this is a name I think that we should be paying attention to. I think you're going to see it pop up a lot here in the incoming future, because there is this sentiment that the SEC kind of feels like it's, if not against Bitcoin, at least indifferent, whereas this commissioner of the SEC, Hester Pierce, seems to be very pro-crypto. So I'm going to go ahead and read the article. Crypto-friendly SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce calls for a nuanced cryptocurrency regulations as several agencies pursue stricter policy mandates. Hester Pierce of the United States Securities of Exchange Commission has once again urged regulators to take a step back from attempting to over-regulate the crypto space. Speaking in the Financial Times, Pierce, affectionately dubbed Crypto Mom due to her positive stance on the cryptocurrencies, argued against the need for strict regulation policies. According to Pierce, regulators by nature often have a knee-jerk reaction to emerging market spaces, often at the expenses of innovation. The SEC Commissioner warned that pursuing stricter regulatory policies eliminates the ability of the market participants to carry out peer-to-peer transactions, rather than emphasizing the government regulations. Pierce advocates for industry-led regulatory activities. So pretty much to wrap up, we can go back to full screen. To wrap that thought up in a nutshell, ultimately she is echoing a very pro-crypto model, and that is the thought of like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, crypto in general was created to be decentralized, was created so that the people can help regulate it themselves, and it can be what's best for the people. It's super sweet to hear that somebody from the SEC is actually agreeing with that sentiment. Hey, the best thing we can do is actually let it regulate itself. Now, will this be enough to stop regulation in the future? Probably not, but it is a good sign that we have somebody fighting on our side that is inside the SEC. And with that, I want to hear what you guys have to think. I see a couple comments in chat saying, where's Jeb? Jeb is at a planning meeting today. Again, he had a vacation last week, and I completely forgot last week to tell you guys, every second Wednesday of the month, he has another planning meeting. So that was my bad, but we're having fun on the stream anyway, and I want to kind of take this time just to go back and forth with you guys, answer some questions, so let me know. Smay, did we see anything while I was talking?
No.
No? Okay, great. Let's look through chat here for just a second. Let me see here. Yeah, that's where Jeb is. Smay, you're doing a great job of helping me discern this chat.
Bitcoin's trying to say something right now. Tim, I have a problem with the way that you use the word qualms. I think you need to.
No, qualm. I use the word. Someone has complained in the past. I have used the word qualm wrong in the past.
Incorrectly. So please, for your sake, stop using the word qualms. Thank you.
Listen, I'm trying to educate myself, Bitcoin, and that's the whole point of this whole system is so people educate themselves. Qualm, I have used as a wrong word in the past, but I am doing a lot better with that now. Someone did say like, oh no, the show is spiraling out of control. We're talking to pillows now. Traditionally, yes, most pillows I would have a problem talking to, but this is a pretty special pillow, and I'm sorry if you don't really like it.
I'm not just a pillow. I am an entire network of currency and blockchain technology, so you can go lick my butt.
Wow. Bitcoin's getting a little spicy. All right. Well, if there's no questions, we can move on to, again, this might be an extremely short show because we are trying to not waste you guys' time, but also make sure we produce something for you guys so you guys can go and chew on it. We want to give you guys all the important information, but we are going to move on, and we'll come back in chat if chat gets us there, to what you guys have been asking for a while now. A combination of not only Polka Dot, but also Smay being able to give his take completely uninterrupted. So with that, Smay, take over. What do we want to talk about what's happening in Polka Dot?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Can you hand me that paper right there?
Which one?
The one that says, what is Polka Dot?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, basically, just to go briefly over what's going on, guys. So, Polka Dot. Actually, I'm going to read this first because I think this is actually going to give us some idea of what actually is going on. So, Polka Dot. I'm going to talk about parachains just so you guys are prepared. Sorry, I don't host a lot, so I'm sorry. Anyways, Polka Dot is designed to operate with two types of blockchains: a main network called the relay chain, where transactions are permanent, and the user-created networks called parachains. Parachains can be customized to any number of uses and feed into the main blockchain, so that parachains transactions benefit from the same security of the main chain. With this design, the Polka Dot team contends transactions can be kept secure and accurate using only the computing resources required to run the main chain. Users, though, gain the added benefit of being able to customize many parachains for many uses. The Polka Dot team believes this design will let its users perform transactions more privately and efficiently, creating blockchains that don't disclose user data to the public network or that otherwise process a greater number of transactions. All right, so that leads me into what the news that we're talking about today is that Polka Dot is now at the stage where they are now going to be raffling off some development spots on parachains for projects to come and start using the parachains and designing them the way they want and developing the way they want, which I think is really a really good thing for Polka Dot, because one, that shows it's going to start to leverage what makes Polka Dot special, and the fact that Polka Dot is special because it gives developers, and why it's so good for recreational applications is that it gives developers of their respective parachains the ability to do whatever they want with it. It's basically the ability to make whatever kind of blockchain you want off of a main, more secure network that is Polka Dot. So I think right now we're seeing now that they've been quiet for a while, and we've seen Cardano doing its big thing, we've seen Ethereum doing its big thing, and all that stuff. And now Polka Dot's saying, hey, we have a really great concept of a technology that's going to benefit in terms of the long run of decentralized applications.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, all right, we're ready to start putting it out. We're ready to start seeing people use it. And I think that's really exciting because now we're going to see just pretty much developers go wild with their creativity and be able to develop all kinds of stuff using blockchain technology and being able to tweak it to their will versus with an Ethereum, you're kind of bending to Ethereum's will for the most part. You're trying to speak within its language. Versus Polka Dot, you're really able to make whatever you want, which I think is really impressive, and I think it's something that people need to keep an eye out for, because I really think that it is the next big crypto in terms of decentralized applications. I think that with Cardano and Ethereum, they're really trying to gun for that decentralized finance spot to be the ones that they're controlling a decentralized identity and identification, all that stuff, and they're trying to control the way you can transfer money around. That's great, but I think most technologies really take off when it finds a recreational use, and I think Polka Dot is going to be the one that kind of sets that trend for blockchain technology used in a more daily driver kind of way.
When you say recreational use, exactly, what do you mean?
So I don't know if you guys remember a while ago that we did this video where we talked about 5 decentralized applications on Ethereum that we liked. One of them being EtherTweet, which is a decentralized social media, right?
Yeah.
That is basically what Polka Dot gives the opportunity to do stuff with. You can actually now with Polka Dot take a parachain and develop it into, without having to use more computing resources other than what's being used for the relay chain. You can now build social media websites. You can build games. I mean, potentially, right? You could build all kinds of different applications that now open up the world of decentralized blockchain technology to a broader audience than just the financial space, which leads to then just so many more advancements that could then pour back into the financial space, right? So I think Polka Dot is really one that you guys got to keep an eye on, because it's going to start setting those trends for the world of crypto adoption, right? Because eventually, if we really believe in blockchain technology, it's going to start seeping its way into a lot of our fundamental systems. Yeah. So I think that's why I really, really am excited for what Polka Dot's doing, and this is kind of the first big step in proving, hey, this is it's no longer a concept. We're actually getting it done, And I think that's really awesome.
No, I think even that, like, so Ben Lay even just said, like, the cool part of that is the decentralization of social media. No matter where you are with political spectrums, anytime someone gets silenced on social media, the whole purpose of that was so you can voice your opinion. I think that's going to be really cool if Dot really is the one leading the charge there. I'm excited about a lot of other projects. I truthfully need to do a lot more research on Dot before I become bullish, but I am excited about the concept of what they're trying to do. I wish there's a lot more news that came out about them. That's one thing is, if you guys have been following it, there's really not too much breaking news that happens. Obviously, we had the thing happen today, or I guess this was actually probably a couple of days, with the parachain auction starting next week. However, if you guys love Dot, make sure you guys go take a look at that article. I think we're actually going to see a lot of things exciting happening in Dot, despite the fact there's no news. That actually might be one of the strongest things for Dot, is that there hasn't been a lot of news. Because if you've been following Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano, there's been plenty of news, and it's not always very good for the coin itself. Sometimes it can just disrupt from what we know is going to happen with it. But we will go ahead and move on. Thank you, Smay, so much talking about Dot. I want to talk a little bit about something that people have been asking in our chat for, I don't know, probably over a month now, and that is discussing the Wyckoff distribution. Someone just asked, is there going to be Bitcoin technical analysis? There is going to be Bitcoin technical analysis, and I'm going to do it by covering the thought of the Wyckoff thing. So first of all, a little bit of history about what Wyckoff actually is. It was discovered, or sorry, I'm not going to say discovered. It was created by Richard Wyckoff in the 1930s, and what happened is he got tired of watching people get into the stock market, get into stocks, get into trading, and get destroyed because they didn't understand the manipulation that was happening from industries. So if you guys just got into crypto, there has been manipulation. I was talking with Jeb about it this morning. The manipulation is going to be here forever. Manipulation is just something that comes with any type of trading, any type of system, and crypto is no different. Here is the thing, though. What these people who are manipulating the market trust is that the smaller retail buyers and traders are not going to be smart enough to read the signs and read the technicals, and they're going to be able to take advantage of them. So real quick, let's go to my screen real quick, and I want to show you briefly what is happening with the Wyckoff. I'm going to show you what it is, and then we're going to go look at it on the Bitcoin screen. So this thought of you guys as the traders, or us as the traders, are not going to be able to know what's happening is ultimately it comes down to technical analysis. Why is Jeb so big on technical analysis? Why are most people who are trying to help people trade in crypto big on technical analysis? Because ultimately this is the tools that the experts and the industries and the institutions use. And if you don't know how to read the signs, what happens is that they read the signs, manipulate us, and then they get to take the profits and get away with it. So if you'll see right here, we obviously saw this happen in Bitcoin, but this is where we're kind of flowing with stock to flow. That PSY, I think over here, I'm going to read you guys the exact words here. Okay, let me see how to scroll up. I think right here, PSY, preliminary supply, where large interest begins to unload shares in quantity after a pronounced up move. Volume expands and the price spread widens, signaling that a change in a trend may be approaching. All right, so right here, this is what we're kind of just getting preliminary supply. They're kind of feeling out the market, seeing our people excited about it, because obviously we had to rally a little bit here, and we're going to go look at the chart here in just a second on Bitcoin, but ultimately, to know that we're going to have this happen, a lot of times these industries, these institutions are looking at stuff like this to confirm what they're going to do. Now, it moves into this phase. We have a slight correction here, but then we bounce up to our what's called buying climax. So in all reality, this is most likely what the people are viewing mostly as the top. So right here it says, during the buying climax, there's often marked increases in volume and price spread. The force of buying reaches a climax with heavier urgent buying by the public being filled by professional interest at prices near a top. So, I just changed my mind. I don't think I want to go through every single one of these. If you guys want this article, I'm going to scroll up to the back at the top, but this is pretty much an article discussing what's happening with Wyckoff. Some of you guys understand what's happening with Wyckoff. However, I do want to make sure that I give you guys briefly what is happening. Ultimately, the institutions are buying low, watching the price rise, and they kind of test it at times to see, all right, is this legit or is this just a phase? Up around here, you're going to see a lot of news articles coming out about the excitement of whatever is happening. This is what's happened in the past. I'm not even talking about Bitcoin right now, just talking about stocks in general and what happens when we see a Wyckoff distribution happening. There's going to be a lot of positive news right here that's going to encourage buyers who don't know that much to go ahead and get in near a top. We're going to see a massive correction. down here where, again, institutions realize, all right, this was a good price, so let's go ahead and buy here to make some profit. But we had people get a little scared. We continue to bounce until ultimately we convince people that this is the top. And I'm saying we as in institutions, they convince that this is the top. And so people are very sure after all this bouncing, after all this volatility, that ultimately their investments are safe. This is a good investment. We're not going to drop that much lower. And even when we see a drop down here, this LPSY is the last point of supply. So it's kind of giving us an indication this bullish trend is coming to an end. We're going to be moving into a downtrend. It gives people this false hope that, oh no, it's okay, we're about to resume. And before we finally come down, we have a little bit right here, another last sort of supply, this SOW, sign of weakness. This is the sign, all right, we're confirming we are fully in the downtrend. We come down, we give it one last help, and then we fall all the way. This is what happens on distribution, the Wyckoff distribution. Going now to Bitcoin. So that was long. Hopefully you stayed with me. Hopefully you're with me in all of this. I am new to crypto, so I am for sure one of the people within the last couple of months who fell for this Wyckoff distribution, and it's something I got to learn, but I want to help teach you guys as well what's happening here. So ultimately, I got in back in August, so I'm not even on this map. I'm going to be way back here, probably somewhere right around here. I don't know, I think my picture's covering it right there. Yep, right in here is where I got in. However, we watched as we climbed right here in 2021, all the positive information coming out. We hit a peak. I don't remember exactly what happened in January. I guess my historians can look at that and say what happened in January. We had a slight correction, but again, that's right according to the plan, right here with the PSY. We got a light correction before we made another rally up here. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because this right around here is where we saw all the Elon news come out. We saw a bunch of institutions adopting it, but then we began to correct and move back up, and correct and move back up. And I guarantee you, if you go look at all these peaks, you're going to find a lot of great news articles talking about the future of Bitcoin, a lot of predictions of people saying we're going to the hundreds of thousands, even millions. And ultimately, while it doesn't mean those articles are necessarily wrong, what it did was, to people who are not educated at knowing the charts, Jeb the whole time was saying, guys, we're overextended, boom, we corrected. Got up here, guys, we're overextended, boom, we corrected. Guys, we're overextended, and he said, actually, we've been overextended for a while, we needed a correction. However, we were following the Wyckoff distribution, and this was according to plan. I don't want to speculate and call any one person or one entity the main driver of this. I want to leave that to you guys, but ultimately, as I just said, Wyckoff was literally created to help people see where institutions have been manipulating people, because they know how to read the market, and they know that most people do not. This, according to plan, has dropped off just as predicted. We've come here to the end. According to this thing, this is the phase. We've just finished phase D. We're kind of in phase E right now, and that is the coming back down to the accumulation phase, which will allow the institutions, now that everyone else is scared out of the market, to buy whatever this is below its actual price. In this case, we're talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, for sure, if we look at the stock to flow ratio, is sitting very pretty right here, this number. This is actually a great number for it to be, but the institutions are counting on the fear, uncertainty, and doubt to continue to scare people out of the market. They're going to say stories, they're going to post articles scaring you to make this drop even lower so that they can buy in before we see another rally. Now, here is the good news that I have for everybody, and I'm going to answer some questions here in just a second. We are not doing what Wyckoff planned on. We have been pretty darn close this entire cycle at following what Wyckoff distribution says. And if you want to know more about it, again, there are other YouTubers, there's other videos that do a great job of explaining it. But we should have, like the other day when we broke out of this symmetrical triangle pattern, should have seen a nice little decrease right here. I know we predicted, Jeb and I, we said we were going to do something like this. We're going to bounce one more time off 42 and come down. That didn't happen, and that's okay, that didn't happen. However, if we are following Wyckoff, we should see this come down even farther and probably start an accumulation phase somewhere down here around 20. However, what we are seeing from a fundamental side is this little bounce right here, which I don't know. There's also a chance that this could now correct and come back down. However, what it is looking like based off of the fundamentals, and by fundamentals, I mean when you look at things like Glassnode and you look at the chart showing the wallets coming in to Bitcoin, when you look at the amount of Bitcoin that is coming off of exchanges, what that is a sign of is a lot of people are saying, you know what, I'm going to hunker down and hold for a while and not lose my money. So a lot of times what happens is we have a little accumulation phase. Now, it's not going to be that pretty. I'm sure it's going to be a little different than that. But I actually fully expect us to be trading sideways here for a while all the FUD is rooted out and while we're actually able to go up. Now, back to full screen. Here is the thing about information. Again, I want to be very careful about not calling any one piece of information that has come out exactly manipulation. Now, we do know that there is manipulation. We know there's a lot of articles that are manipulation. I think the entire concept of the timing of the environmental impact of Bitcoin, I think there was a lot of thought that went into that FUD hitting the market very hard. However, a piece of information that is not FUD, it is not FOMO, is when we see facts happen. So, for example, whether it was good for the market or not, whether it was what people like it or not, when Tesla adopted Bitcoin and bought that much Bitcoin, that wasn't speculation, that wasn't FOMO, that wasn't FUD, that was clear out facts. That was something that happened and it had a direct response to Bitcoin's price, right? When we see this recent news of El Salvador, we're not seeing speculation about El Salvador. We're seeing the news, the facts breaking. El Salvador has adopted Bitcoin as currency, and it is fact that we have other countries in South America and other countries throughout the world that are considering Bitcoin as legal tender. That is not FOMO, that is not FUD, that is simply factual, because when it comes down to the details, these countries love the prospect of Bitcoin. This is not them trying to drive the price. This is not El Salvador being too wise and saying, you know what, if we say we do this, we can maybe get the price to jump, gain a little money, take our profits, and then leave out. No, these are hardcore things. When bills get involved, bills are a pretty big deal. Just so you guys know, Jeb talked about this very heavily yesterday on Around the Blockchain. He also is going to be shooting a video tomorrow talking about this even more. But ultimately, we as the people, like I just said, we as the not institutions, as the, what do you call that? Retail traders. We have got to just stop looking at news articles and making up our mind based off of speculation, even to the extent of YouTube. And again, I realize the irony of this. You are watching a YouTube video right now where literally all I am doing is giving you my opinion. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not even allowed to do so. Trust me, even if I was allowed, you might not want to listen to me because I'm still learning the ropes. But what I can tell you is you got to stop thinking what other people are thinking just because they tell you to think it and start thinking for yourself. That is why education is so important. That is why we have that course, CT2A. And if you're interested in that course, there's a description. There's a link in the description down below that you can enter it. It is a course that teaches you technical analysis so you can see the signs. So you can see the things like these triangle patterns, and you can see the things in the marks and all the different MACDs and the RSI, and you'll know when is a good time to buy, when is a good time to sell, when's a good time to just sit and kind of wait to see what the market's happening. These are the tactics that institutions are using to be profitable, that they are trusting that the retail traders are not using. So if you are somebody who wants to be wise with your money, if you want to know when to get in, when to get out, I know there's a lot of people who tell you all you need is the fundamentals. And trust me, you do need the fundamentals because they play an important role. But if you don't know how to read the signs, if you don't know how to read the technicals, if you don't know how to look at this chart and make an educated opinion on what is happening, it doesn't mean you'll be right 100% of the time because that's impossible. But it means you'll be right more often. And that's what you need, especially in this season of uncertainty and doubt and fear being spread. I said that in the wrong order, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Especially in a season where we're seeing a lot of FUD. You have to know how to think for yourself and not just freak out and throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just so you guys know, historically, this is talked about on CT2A in one of the videos. When we are seeing a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt being posted, that is a great indicator that we are probably about to see a bounce, because what that does is it affects the fear and greed index down to fear. And when the market is very afraid, that is the perfect time to buy, rather than when people are very greedy and very optimistic. When we see a lot of reports talking about the amazingness of crypto, that is just speculation. That's when we potentially are going to see a downtrend. We're going to see people selling off because it's the perfect time to take your profits. If you want to know more about that, though, again, educate yourself. And that's why we created that CT2A. If you want to know more about that, let us know in the comments. Real quick before we end this stream, because again, this was going to be a short stream, but it always was going to be. Let's look at the comments and see if there's anything else that people want to talk about.
People don't like Bitcoin.
People don't like Bitcoin.
No, they don't.
What do you have to say about that, Bitcoin?
I don't like you guys either.
Wow. Bitcoin gets salty. But, I mean, that's what happens. Let me see. When you say people don't like Bitcoin, what is the reason people don't like Bitcoin? Did anyone post their beliefs or thoughts?
Well, I guess they just don't like because he's a pillow.
Oh, people don't like the pillow?
Yeah.
Well, that's rough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I mean, it was a shot. We've been doing a little like an interchanging of co-hosts. We thought you guys would like it, but
let's just make this clear. This was not my idea. This was Tim's idea. Just so you guys know.
Let's just make it clear. It was a good idea. It just some people don't like it. That's opinions are opinions. That's fine. What in the world?
Oh man.
All right. Okay, so Smith, you're not seeing anything.
No, dude, everyone's just being negative.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys like literally a couple more minutes, just ask a couple questions. We're gonna wrap out the stream. Again, the reason Jeb is not here is because he's at a planning meeting. I saw someone say it's because people take Jeb serious. People do take Jeb serious, and it's good. And I hope the majority of what we talk about here is taken seriously. Everything I just talked about is a serious thing. It's just we like to have fun as well, especially when Jeb is gone. We can. Let's see. Yeah, some people are saying they love the pillow, so it's just a difference of opinion. It's okay.
Yeah.
Someone asked Polygon or Cardano. So Polygon, Matic. Again, if we're talking long term, I still think I would say Cardano. However, if we're talking short term, we looked at those technicals last week. I mean, I can look at them again if you guys want. Not that Cardano is doing phenomenal necessarily, but even what we were talking about last week, Cardano, I expect actually Cardano to have a nice little rally here in a little bit. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Let me delete that. However, Matic, if we look over here at the details of what's happening in Matic, the MACD has been bearish for a little minute and is not necessarily showing any signs of slowing down. Just so you guys know, again, technical analysis. When we see this trend right here, again, CT2A goes into the details of the history and all the math that goes behind it. But what you guys need to know is when we see this bearish trend and we do not see a sign of it slowing down.
We're on your screen right now?
Oh, I thought I showed you. Okay.
No.
All right. Sorry, guys. Miscommunication.
Just start again.
All right, guys. Sorry. Let me show you guys again. We're looking at Matic right here, Polygon. Again, what we're seeing right here is we are seeing, as I drew last week, a Ooh. If we look at this, we're seeing, I'm going to keep drawing this. Symmetrical triangle pattern that, that's not when I drew it. I'm going to back up you guys and draw this again because that was actually the wrong way to draw that. I'm going to go to the 4-hourly chart, which is actually probably a better way to draw this, and I will have you guys what you need. All right, so what we have here, if we go, boom, little thing right there. We had this right here, and this is where I drew it last week. We had a downside right here. Come on now, hold for me. We had a level of resistance right here. You guys see that clean line? Now, again, as I told you guys last week, sometimes we break the opposite direction as expected, but this level of support is pretty important because despite the fact that traditionally we break bearish on these trends, we bounced bullish, only to kind of wrap around, and now we're headed back down. Again, to even back up this thought, so I was showing this and I was talking about it. Smay was not on my screen. But if we go look at the MACD, and what I was saying was okay, come on, computer. There we go. If you look at the MACD, again, I'm not going to go through the details of the history and the mathematics. However, what you guys need to know that is important to help you guys is when we see this blue line cross below, this is a bearish trend, and then we see confirmation that is continuing that way. We see no signs of slowing down. This is not a good time to be entering into it. We want to see this kind of turn around and see the price start heading back up before I go bullish on Matic. Then again, like I said, long term is a different question than short term. Short term, I do think that Cardano is the better option. However, long term, we will see. I still think long term Cardano is the better option, but I hope that answers your questions. I know we had some super chats that I want to go back and answer. I'm going to kind of go from the bottom to the top. Matt Sanchez says,
full screen?
Yeah, you go to full screen.
Okay.
Matt Sanchez says, Tim, you do a great job. Thanks for filling in. Hodl. Thank you, Matt. Again, the whole thing last week I really liked is I got some reps. I'm going to have some times where I'm on the show, I'm leading the show, but it'll get better every single time. Don't worry about it. Jeanette Smith says, don't listen to the trolls. It's okay. At the end of the day, I actually really like when people critique me, and say, sometimes people are simply just trolling. But honestly, I don't have a problem when people give negative feedback. Don't be rude about it. Don't be mean. I'm hoping I'm never mean to anybody else. But good feedback is always good. Elaine Picking says, Tim, what coins do you hold? Great question. I hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. Unfortunately, I hold some Doge. And that was due to a punishment that I had. That is not on purpose. And then the other one I actually was trading, and I'm waiting to get. I picked a bad time to get into Tron. I still like Tron long term, but I entered a trade probably in the wrong spot, and I'm waiting actually to get back profitable in that one. But those are the ones that I hold currently. Things that I want to get into that I just need to get a hold of a platform to get is long term. I'm really excited about what's happening with Chili's. Based off what we were talking about last week, Solana, I'm actually very excited about Solana. And again, even some of the stuff we were talking about with Dot, I think Solana, with its proof of history platform and kind of base, is got a lot of interesting details that I think will answer some questions. I saw an article that was kind of ridiculous. I don't agree with the article, but they were saying like Solana the next Ethereum killer. And I'm like, okay, let's stop throwing out these. Is this going to kill Bitcoin? Is this going to kill Ethereum? Is this going to kill this? It's not going to kill it. But that does raise a question of, man, will Solana answer a lot of questions that maybe some Ethereum doubters have, in which case that makes it really, really exciting. I know I saw one way, way up here, a super chat. Someone says I might be a couple of phases behind on the Wyckoff. Again, I'm learning Wyckoff. But ultimately, what I wanted to update you guys who had never heard of it is a great indication to see what is happening with manipulation. Again, I don't want to speculate on which articles specifically are manipulation, but just so you guys know, it is true. And the fact that there is manipulation in the market is a fact that happens. It's part of the game. The way you avoid things being manipulated is by doing the research yourself, knowing the technicals, knowing the fundamentals, and not just listening to every bit of speculation you ever hear. Matt C. earlier said, SME equals Dot. It's an amazing project, been in it for a while. So Matt C., again, one of our favorites, probably single-handedly supports our show financially. He, for sure, is a fan of SME and a fan of Dot.
I am a Dot.
Elliot Locke said, Tim, what about looking at VeChain? We can look at VeChain real quick if you guys want, as far as the technicals. And then we'll probably be wrapping out the stream here in just a second. All right, so what we see here, first thing what I want to do before I draw anything here, let's go look at what's happening over here. Now, we had a bullish cross right here. So I was talking about this last week. We had a bullish cross. You're going to see on the MACD. Are we on my screen, by the way? Sorry,
yes,
I didn't give you an update. We see this actually happening in a couple other coins. I'm gonna see. Can I even switch back and forth? Either way, we saw this happening in Bitcoin. We saw this happen with Cardano and Ethereum. We had a bullish cross, and then it kind of flattens out. We could potentially see a cross below again. However, things in the market could change at any point. As of right now, we are still bullish, which is a good sign. A couple other things to look at down here in the RSI. We are not above that 50 zone. We kind of are trending up on the RSI and the daily chart. So there's a chance we could come back down again. But ultimately, this, according to the RSI, is not a bad time, to be buying. Now, what's really interesting, and this is a project I have to do a lot of research on. Someone brought it to our attention the other day, and Jeb and I have been looking at this a lot more. Jeb had seen it before, but even he admitted, dang, this is something we need to be looking at a lot more. And this is the hash ribbons indicator. So, without going into too much detail, this is something I think all of you guys, if you guys use TradingView, you should add to something you look at regularly. And that is because this thing will flash from time to time when it's good time to buy, and then it'll tell you other times it's not good to buy. Ultimately, I'm still learning. This has to do with a 1 month line, with a 2 month line. I'm not 100% certain of all the mathematics and science, but ultimately, a lot of times, if you back up in history, you will see after these red accumulations and capitulation times, which with the hash rate and everything, you will see when these come to an end, it'll flash blue, and it'll say it'll be a great time to buy. So, for example, actually, let me go to Bitcoin and show you guys what's happening on Bitcoin. That is not the one I want. All right, so right here, we had a buy flash right here at the 5th of December. So if I go to the chart, the 5th of December is right here. Can they see that, Smay?
Yes.
The 5th of December was right here. I don't even need to do the math. You guys can see that massive, massive swing right there. I mean, I guess I can. Let me pull up that chart real quick and show you guys the percentage of what we changed that day. 5th of December, boom. We rallied 252%. So that's not a bad sign. If we go back, let's look at it one more time. Another buy signal right here. We had a buy signal on the 13th of July of 20. That is 2020. Let's go there real quick. 13th of July. Right here. We rallied. Let me grab my thing. 13th of July. We rallied 33%. So that wasn't a massive rally, but that was the beginning of kind of flashing this bull cycle. We'll look at one more just to show you guys. The other buy signal we had, let's go with this one right here. We had a buy of the 27th of December, or yeah, the 29th of December of 19. Again, let's scroll. It's going to be somewhere right around in here. And again, we rallied 50%. So ultimately, again, I'm sorry, guys, that was slow. But what I was trying to show you guys was the history of this indicator called the hash ribbon. And what we are seeing, like you guys will see right here, every single time, actually, I'm not trying, every single time we have one of these capitulation segments, we have a buy signal flash right after, and we see, like I said, the lowest one I saw was a 30% growth. We are seeing one develop right here, right now. We probably have a little bit of ways to go before it finishes. However, we're going to see a buy signal flash, and I believe that's going to be a pretty important buy signal. So going back to VeChain, like we were just talking about, VeChain is in a capitulation stage, which means we're probably going to be seeing a buy signal flashing very soon from it. But let's go ahead and draw on the chart what is happening with VeChain. So we got here, I'm going to go actually to the 4-hourly because I like drawing my things there because the candle bodies are a little bit better and a little easier to match. So I'm not going to talk about this breakout section right here. I'm going to start with right here because I think we saw, just like every other chart, we saw a negative breakout. A bearish breakout on those. So draw this base on here. We're going to take this candle body. We're going to try to connect these three right here, showing us a trend. We're going to see that's our level of resistance, or sorry, support. My bad. And then what we have right here is whether or not this is a flat line or not. It's pretty darn close to a flat line, in which case this would be an ascending triangle, or I mean, at the worst, it's a very, very slight wedge. However, we did see a bearish break out of it, but as we talked about in technical analysis, a lot of times, just because we don't break the way we thought we were going to break, a lot of times what happens is we break down, we break bearish before coming back up and breaking up to the bull side anyway. But let's keep an eye on that. Ultimately, VeChain, even from a fundamental side, I really like that project. I really like what's happening in VeChain. I believe in it long term. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what you guys think. And it matters that you guys do your research before just buying based off of somebody else's opinion. And ultimately, I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream with that. And that is the sentiment that Jeb has had for a very long time, and that this entire channel and entire company has, is do not allow other people to do your thinking for you. You have got to learn to educate yourself. And you know what? Right now, while we are kind of in a situation of accumulation, we're kind of in a place in the crypto market where we're really not sure what's about to happen, if things are going to break bullish or things are going to break bearish. This is the perfect time, then, rather than just looking at the news and looking at what's happening and looking at what other people are doing, to do a little bit of your own education and learn for yourself. That's what's super important, that we stop just teaching people what to think, and you stop learning from other people what to think. And what you need to learn is how to think. So if that is something that you're excited about, if you want to be a person who thinks for yourself, who does your own thing, and it doesn't mean you don't listen to other people's opinions, it just means you don't go off of other people's opinions without doing something for yourself, make sure you like this channel. Jeb will be back. He is the leader. He is our guy. You guys love him. I've seen it in chat. He'll be back tomorrow. We're going to continue to give you guys everything you need to know so that you can make your own informed decisions. The other things you can do is you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. Anything else we got, Smay? Any others?
No.
No? Okay. Well, you can do all that. So other than supporting us through liking and subscribing to this channel, you can also go like our social media. Go join and follow us. We actually just surpassed, I think, 4,000 subs on Instagram. We're going to quickly get to 10,000. Yeah, I think we just started that not too long ago. Guys, we are very excited. If you want to see more of me and Smay, you're going to see a lot more of us on those other channels. We're doing a lot of exciting projects over there, but we want to leave YouTube strictly to help you guys learn the crypto market and make good decisions. If that is it and there's nothing else. What?
There is more.
There is more?
Yes.
Oh, there's more.
Ready, guys?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to do them really fast. Guys, Luxalgo.
Hey.
Bybit.
Hey.
CT2A. Alrighty. Just wanted you guys to know those are things that are in the description.
Yeah. Those are things, if you guys, again, want to support us, Bybit is a great trading platform. You can go sign up with that link down below. That is a way that you can support us. Also, Lux All Go, again, that is something I'm learning. Jeb I think he made a video teaching people how to use it. I need to watch that and do a lot more research there, but it is something that he uses to inform his trades and his decision making. So make sure you go and use that as well if you want to become even better at trading. But that is officially it. As Ben said, you can go ahead and leave us and not come back until tomorrow. That is okay. Won't hurt our feelings.
It might hurt mine. I might be a little down bad tonight.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm gonna let Smay wrap out the stream because he likes to wrap out the streams on this Tim and Smay takeovers. But my last piece of advice to you guys, and no matter how many people scream at me that I'm wrong, I will always hold this sentiment until my mind is changed. Please don't buy XRP. That's all I got. Smay, what do you got for us?
Guys, goodbye.